We go Ndombele.
Oh yeah, Ndombele.
Sorry,
Let's talk about
Ndombele, yeah.
I
So,
still don't actually know what Jose said. So
this feels like Groundhog Day, you know.
Literally.
This feels like Groundhog Day because I think he did it with Pogba.
Everyone.
And where he literally comes out and I don't know whether this is like a tactic to get the player to be doing well, but because the thing about Mourinho is that Mourinho is very stubborn. If you chastise him, he's going to double down and triple down because he knows what everybody said about, oh no, you shouldn't hang out a player to dry. You can't criticize him, so he's doing the same thing again. And for me, I'm like, you have to be very. I use the example of Football Manager because in a Football Manager, you have a thing where like you can critique a player publicly or privately, and obviously depending on the player's personality, it will have the same desired effect. So if it's a very confident player, criticize them in public and they will respond in kind. Someone like a Cristiano or even like a Neymar, if you abuse them in public, they would actually probably be a positive effect upon them based on their personalities. But if let's say you do it to let's say like a Messi or like an Ericsson or so forth, based on their personalities, it is better to do it in private than in public. Now, I don't know who Ndombele is, but he's just coming to the Premier League right now. He isn't really known as a really major star player, so he's still learning his trade as to go out with regards to how the Premier League works and just figuring out how different it is from playing in France. So I don't think this is a good move.
But have hope. Let me ask you a question. Has there been an instance in football? Now, there could be, but it's a genuine question, where this has actually worked, where a player has been individual, not a collection, my defense, my midfield, my attack. An individual has been hung out to dry in public, and it's actually turned around for the better. Because you mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo. Mourinho never did that to Ronaldo. You mentioned, I think there's a common other player you mentioned. He never done that.
Okay, I'll give you a weird example. Now, this is an example, but it's in a weird way. So this was when France were qualifying for the 94 World Cup. And so this was like their last game. So I think all they needed to do was just hold on to the scoreline. And instead of Ginola trying to hold on to the ball, he tried to dribble. He lost the ball, and Bulgaria scored on the final counterattack. In the press conference, Gerard Houllier literally put the blame on Ginola. So that's what Ginola did was a crime. Now, Ginola never played for France again. but after that, Ginola... What?
How long did Houllier manage France after that?
I think he was done because they didn't qualify.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But my thing is that Ginola then went on to become, in my regard, one of the best players in the Premier League, and he says that he still holds what Houllier said to him to heart, and I believe that was a lightning rod that gave him extra motivation to prove himself and to play even harder based on how he was held to be the guy that pretty much failed. So even if it may not be a direct thing, but that is somewhat of a random example of how a good dude has been criticized in public and he's used that to motivate himself to prove everyone wrong. But the thing is that not many managers do that.
That's different because he didn't play for that manager again. I think Mourinho's doing it to players that
there's not a direct example, just a roundabout thing.
I think the only one I could think of, and it might not be the same thing, is David Beckham. David Beckham got chastised by Ferguson, and he played well for Ferguson.
Was it?
No, but it was a public spat, and he said he wasn't happy with him. It wasn't necessarily to do with his football, but it was still out in public, and he hung him out to dry in a way. And Beckham continued to perform. That's the only thing I can really think of in that regard. I can't really think of another time where managers.
Fergie, and you hear all the class of '92, and Beckham was slightly younger than some of them. Fergie was like a father to them, so he had built that father-like relationship with them to be able to hang them out to dry. Mourinho's been at Spurs for 3 months. He don't know Ndombele from Adam or Eve. Like, I know you work with him every day, but it's 3 months. This man's 22 years old. He's been living for 20 years. He don't know you like in that way. And I've seen, put like this, I've seen more examples, just in terms of Mourinho, more examples of it going the other way than it being successful. that he needs to say, is it? It might work, but is it the best course of action? It's high risk, very high risk, and what he said wasn't wrong. He's completely right. Fans have been saying it, or fans have been saying, I've been saying it. Pundits have been saying it. That's fine. Ndombele don't answer to them, so to speak. Obviously, he represents the fans, but he don't answer to them. You are his manager, and now he has to come in thinking, "Damn, this guy just dashed me out to the wolves." Now, I hope that he's got the mentality to come back and improve as a player, because we know the ability is there. But as Mourinho said, it isn't wrong. The guy has been poor, and he's been poor from a professional standpoint. I don't know what he does in training, etc. But I'm
trying to say he's like overweight.
He's fit. Yeah, he's fit.
When it comes to a footballer, the bare minimum is for you to be fit. For the bare minimum for you to be able to last 90 minutes. Forget whether you can pass the ball or shoot or not. That comes with this ability. You should be able to last 90 minutes, and the guy's barely lasted 45. That's inexcusable.
All right, so let me hit this, and I think Devon, this might be for you. Thank you, Dave Tapcon, who says Arsenal fans now believing they can beat City. Devil, do you believe you can beat City on Wednesday?
I do not believe that we could beat City, but that's just because I'm being quite a pessimist in this situation. But football is a funny old game. A lot of people thought Man United wouldn't beat Man City. I'm not saying that we're on a run of form that Man United are, but before the game, guess what? I thought Man United were going to beat Man City. I saw something in that United side that I didn't see in the City side. Now, because of that result, I'm now thinking even more so that we are not going to beat Man City, because I can't see them getting beat twice in a week in that regard. So that result probably played against us. But I think for me, even if we go at Man City and we actually perform well and we're competitive in the game and we pose problems and stuff like that, it would be an improvement on our previous games against the top sides, because the top sides, the top six in England, we've been crap for about 4 or 5 years. We've been terrible against the big sides, especially away from home. And we've been embarrassed by Chelsea. We've been embarrassed by Liverpool. We've been embarrassed by Man City. So it would be nice to actually be competitive and actually have a good game and put in a good performance. And if we can get a draw, great. If we win the game, brilliant. I'm not saying that we will, though.
Can I ask a question? I know we're going to go on to some other topics, but just the Liverpool fans in the listening, we don't have to go into it. I want to know where they think where would be better for them for the title to be won, whether it's at Goodison Park, at Anfield, or at the Etihad, because those are realistic.
For me, true. I mean, true. Like, I think, I feel that. See, basically, I believe City will beat Arsenal. And you see, I just keep thinking that Everton are gonna, just as they did last season, Everton are gonna try really hard, and I just think Liverpool will draw that game. The perfect scenario for Liverpool is find a way to beat Everton to lift the title at Anfield. I think Everton was just
no.
Well, the thing is,
no, you want to win the title.
They're gonna lift the Anfield anyway. Because the title was lifted on the last home game of the season, so they're gonna against Chelsea actually. Their last home game of the season, but it's just about where you win it. Do you win it?
You want to win it at Goodison.
Do you win it at home? Remember, it's the first title in 30 years. Do they want all their fans there at the moment the final whistle blows when they win it, or do you win it at the reigning champions, who has been your title rivals for the last?
No. Goodison will be like the perfect salt in the wood, but I just don't see City losing to Arsenal.
No, you want to win it at Goodison. Take it from me as a fan of a club who have won the title at their arch rivals' ground twice in our history. When I say we won the league at Shite Hart Lane, we won the league at Shite Hart Lane. We won the league at the shithole. We won the league at Shite Hart Lane. We won the league.